This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Good morning on a Thursday. Nick Saletti here with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Wildland firefighters are preparing for the season ahead with annual refresher courses and mock scenarios. The goal is to keep firefighters out of harm's way. Along with the physical training, there's the mental aspect for firefighters who've been doing this for decades.
It's almost second nature for us, knowing that we're going to be having a long fire season, knowing that we're going to be working long hours, knowing that we're going to be away from home.
Definitely a marathon, not a sprint here. Fire officials say this year's fire season is expected to be similar to last year, where we saw some catastrophic fires across the state. There is one wildfire burning right now in southern Arizona. It's right by the border. The PRESUMIDO fire started on Saturday and is nearly 2,600 acres in size. It is now 70% contained. A busy week for Governor Doug Ducey signing 4 bills into law.
The bill on sports is about fairness. It's about fairness, pure and simple, and it's also about protecting girls' sports and protecting female sports.
One law prohibits kids from having gender reassignment surgery prior to being 18, while another requires trans student athletes to compete as their birth genders, not the genders they identify with. Another bill requires Arizonans to prove their citizenship to vote, even in federal-only elections. Let's take a closer look at that 4th bill that was signed, banning abortions past 15 weeks. The only exception is for medical emergencies that could impact the life and health of the mom. Doctors who perform these abortions could be charged with a felony. As you can imagine, this is a very hot topic.
People with miscarriages, people with pregnancies growing outside of the uterus, called ectopic pregnancies, also end up getting caught up in these restrictions.
And a lot of women aren't aware of the physical, emotional, and spiritual implications to abortion.
The Supreme Court is reviewing a similar ban in Mississippi. That ruling will ultimately determine what happens next with Arizona's law. In Money News, more American workers say they can't even live paycheck to paycheck anymore. A report by Salary Finance found 20% of employees regularly run out of money between paychecks. That's up 15% from last year. Inflation now at a 40% high. 75% of workers say inflation forced them to reevaluate their finances. Many people may be turning to credit cards, but the late fees keep piling up to the tune of $12 billion. And those fees are expected to increase with inflation. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says fees can be more than $40, and traditionally underserved communities are impacted the most. So what can you do right now? Experts say negotiate.
A lot of times, though, it's as simple as just calling and saying, hey, I'm usually a good customer. I'm so sorry. It won't happen again. I'll set up auto pay to make sure it doesn't happen again. Would you mind taking off that fee?
Bankrate found about 82% of the time people who ask to get out of the late fees actually succeed. Spring training well underway, but a reminder we are just 1 week away from that first pitch of opening day. The D-backs take on the Padres. They'll get a preview of what's ahead as the two will play today as well. Tickets are still available for opening day. We're finding them as low as $29.
Good Thursday morning, everybody. Tracking your most accurate forecast. I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. Temperatures starting off in the lower 60s at 8 o'clock here in the valley, warming up into the mid 70s by midday, and a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday with a high of 82 degrees. But a fantastic forecast for all the spring training games across the valley with first pitch right around 1 o'clock. Temperatures at that time from the East Valley to the West Valley staying in the mid and upper 70s, but climbing into the lower 80s throughout the game. Elsewhere across State 48 today will be in the 50s in Flagstaff, Heber, and Show Low too. As they head toward the Four Corners area, temperatures in the lower 60s, but across the lower deserts even warmer with highs in the lower 70s, upper 70s I should say there in Tucson, everyone else in the lower 80s from Lake Havasu City to Quartzsite and Yuma too. Futurecast showing you a few passing showers mainly in northern Arizona later today right around Flagstaff, and then drying out for the rest of the day, rest of the week, and into the rest of the weekend too. Here's your 7-day forecast. We go from 82 today to 86 Friday, even hotter for the weekend, and breezes next week with highs in the 90s by Tuesday.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, go to ABC15.com or just download our free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.